Jai Hind children. The first chapter of your literature, which was in the April month, the chapter was given to you in the month of April only, but today again I am giving you the chapter for the new student and for those who could not attend the class during the month of April. And the name of the chapter is the Coromandel Fissures by Sarojini Naidu. Okay, I will give you the explanation today. So just open the first chapter, the first poem, Coromandel Fissures. Open this poem, and first I will start from the poet. Let's start from the poet first. Sarojini Naidu. We all know Sarojini Naidu, also known as the Nightingale of India, was an Indian freedom fighter and poet. Naidu served the first governor of the present-day Uttar Pradesh from 1947 to 1949. Sarojini Naidu, we all know her birthplace, India, and she completed her education where? At London. No, in Cambridge University. Now, Sarojini Naidu's childhood is important to understand because your today's poem is related to her childhood age. It means that wherever she was living, whenever she was child, so the place where she was living, she has depicted in today's poem which we are going to study, that place, the lifestyle of the people of that place. Sarojini Naidu, she began writing at the age of 12 in 1905. Her first collection of poems titled The Golden Threshold was published. Some of her other poetry collections are The Broken Wind, Song of Life, The Sceptred Flute, Songs of India and The Feather of Dawn. Her poems are known for their musical quality and are a reflection of India's glorious culture. This is what is given in your book. I am about to tell you something extra just to make you understand so that you may relate. Okay, the life of the Sarojini Naidu along with the poem. So Sarojini Naidu, as I have told you in the beginning, that the birthplace is in India and she was living when she was a child. She was living in the Coromandel, on the coast of the Coromandel Bay in Bengal. Where she was living? On the coast of Coromandel Bay in Bengal. And this place, as it is a bay, so fishermen will, of course, the fishermen will also be there. So she was aware, she was acquainted with the lifestyle of the fishermen as she was seeing right from her childhood. The fishermen, that what is their lifestyle. Okay, she was highly impressed with whom? With the lifestyle of fishermen. Now, in this poem, she has depicted the livelihood, okay, that how they were living, no, their daily routine. Along with this, Sarojini Naidu, as she was, have you seen this line? Naidu served as the first governor of the present day, and she was an Indian freedom fighter and poet. So, as a poet, she has tried to tell about those days when freedom fighters were involved, were busy with Britishers. She was also one of the Indian freedom fighter. So Sarojini Naidu has depicted those days also in this poem. Okay, just before our independence. So there are two meanings in the poem. One is literal meaning, another is your deeper meaning. Literal meaning, literally if you will go through the poem, you will just understand that it is the simple, a daily routine of the fisherman. But what is the deeper meaning? What is the symbolic meaning? The symbolic meaning is that she has tried to awaken the freedom fighter, she has tried to awaken the Indians, okay, to come and fight with the Britishers. So this is a wake up call also. Let's start our poem. Have you understood both the meanings? Okay, because it is very necessary for you to understand both the meanings. One, the first meaning which I had given you, that she is telling about the lifestyle of the fishermen. And what is the second meaning in the poem? That she is just calling the Indians to fight. Okay, she is evoking the Indians to come and just fight with those Britishers. Clear? Now let's start our poem. Have you seen fishermen going out to sea with their boats and nets? In this poem, the poet lets us witness such a scene on the seashore at dawn. The poet will just give in this whole poem a scene. What type of scene? The scene of the fishermen, that they are going out to the sea with their boats and nets. Rise, brothers, rise. Now see the very first stanza. Rise, brothers, rise. The wakening skies pray to the morning light. The wind lies asleep in the arms of the dawn like a child that has cried all night. The very first line. I will tell you both the meanings, literal also and deeper also. Okay. So be attentive and listen very carefully. First, I will be giving you the literal meaning. After that, the deeper meaning, the symbolic meaning. So what is the literal meaning? One fisherman is calling to other fishermen to get up, to rise. Why? Because now it is morning. The awakening is Christ. The sky has wakened up and it is praying to the morning light. Who is praying? Sky is praying to whom? To the morning light. Because now there is light. Okay. The wind lies asleep. The wind has been personified here. Write down using your pencil, although I have given you the chapter earlier. Those who have not written, they can write. The wind here is personified. Okay, so you will write in this line which figure of speech has been used. Personification. 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 Write down in this line, this figure of speech. Wind has been personified because wind is non-living thing, but what the poet is telling, what the poet is trying to show, that the wind is sleeping. So non-living thing she is presenting as living thing, because human beings or the anyone, those who have life, they can only sleep and awake. So wind is sleeping where? In the arms of the dawn. What do you understand by dawn? Dawn means the very first ray of the morning, of each morning. Okay. So here the wind lies asleep. The wind is sleeping in the arms of the dawn like a child that has cried all night. And wind has been compared with the child also, like word has been used. So you write down in this line two figure of speech. One is personification, which I have earlier given you. The second figure of speech is simile. Write down this also in the same line. Simile, simile, because of this word like. And wind is being compared with the child. The wind is sleeping like a child who has cried all night. But now, in the morning, the child is sleeping peacefully. In the same way, the wind who has cried all night. How the wind can cry? There may be storm. Okay, so whenever there is storm, it means that the wind is shouting, it is crying. So after the storm, now in the morning, the wind is sleeping peacefully just like a child who cried all night. You just ask from your mother that when I was a child, you just ask from your mama. When I was a child, was I also crying? And you will get the answer in yes, you were crying and giving me the trouble. She will give you the full story. So that is the habit of the children, that they cry the whole night, but as soon as the morning comes, they sleep soundly. They just sleep peacefully. In the same way, the wind is also sleeping like a child, the child who has cried all night. Have you understood? Now come to the third line. Come, let us gather our nets from the shore and set our catamarans free. Catamarans is a type of fishing boat. There are different types of fishing boat. So that fisherman is calling other fishermen to come and collect our nets from the shore and just free our fishing boat so that again we may go for fishing. Why they will go for fishing? To capture the leaping wealth of the tide, for we are the kings of the sea. Because we all fishermen are the kings of the sea. Why they are king? Because there in the sea, what is leaping? What wealth is there? The fish is there, and this fish is wealth for the fishermen because they collect, they capture the leaping wealth. What is leaping wealth? Have you understood? The fish. Okay, the shoal of the fish when they just move together, that is leaping wealth of the tide. Tide means here sea. So the fisherman is saying, just come with your net and with your boat so that we may go to capture the fish of the sea because we are the kings of the sea. And here the poet is saying proudly that the fishermen, they are the king because she is very much acquainted with the lifestyle and was highly impressed with the lifestyle of the fishermen. Now see the symbolic meaning, the deeper meaning. Rise, brothers, rise. The poet is just giving a wake up call to all the Indians not to delay, to get up, because now it is the time to just attack on the Britishers, because now the morning has come. You have slept so much, you all have slept, you all have taken rest so much. As she was a freedom fighter, that's why she is just calling other Indians to come and fight. The wind lies asleep. Now they are, means now everything is calm, means the Britishers now they are not doing anything and everything all everywhere the peace is lying. Now we should just attack, okay, on those Britishers with our nets. Nets means with our weapons, and set our catamarans free. And we should just start, we should just leave our house and go for the fight to capture the leaping wealth. The leaping wealth of India. Earlier, our India was called a golden bird. So, we should capture those leaping wealth because we are the kings of the country. C means here country. As we are the king, we are the owner of this country. That's why we should just go to attack to the Britishers. This is the wake up call and this is your symbolic meaning. I have given you both the meanings, symbolic also and literal also. Second one, no longer delay, let us hasten away in the track of the seagull's call. Again, fishermen, first I am giving you the the literal meaning. The fisherman is saying that now you should not delay. The fisherman is saying to other brothers, to other fishermen folk, that you should not delay, just be quick in your action and just track the seagull's call. Means that is a very common thing for the fishermen, that whenever they go for fishing, they directly see to the seagull. What is seagull? You know what is seagull? Seagull is an aquatic bird. Okay. And wherever this bird is found, this aquatic bird is found, there only the fishermen get the fish also. Okay. So, seagull means coastal aquatic bird. It has long wings, okay, webbed feet, and usually it has grey and white plumage. That is seagull. So the fisherman is saying that don't delay and just go in the track of, in the direction wherever seagull is calling, wherever the voice of seagull is coming, in that direction also we should go to capture the leaping wealth, to collect the fish, because there only we will get the fish. The sea is our mother. The fisherman is saying that we should not be afraid because sea is our mother, the cloud is brother, and waves are our comrades. Comrades means companions. And the fisherman is saying that we should not be afraid even when the time is of evening, even when the evening comes. Okay, fall of the sun means when the sun falls. Evening, okay, now the sun is um, just going to the west. So it means that now the evening time is coming, and fisherman is saying even if the evening comes and our boat is tossing with the waves, tossing means going up and down, the boat is going, then also we should not be afraid at the time of evening, because the sea god Neptune will control the waves. We are in the hands of the sea god. Sea god, he means here, sea god will hold the storm by the hair. Sea god is so powerful that he will hold the storm. The fishermen, they believe on the sea. No, you can see that sea is their mother, and they also believe on the sea god. Okay, have you are you seeing the faith of the fishermen on sea? They have they are so much connected with the sea that they have just they have a relationship. Sea as a mother, cloud as a brother, and waves as their companion. And they are saying not to afraid because sea god is with us. Sea god will hold the storm with by the hair and will hide in his breast. What the sea god will hide in his breast? Our lives. Means our lives will be secure. Our lives will be saved if we are in the tempest, if we are just trapped in the tempest in the mid of the sea. Tempest, you understand, is storm, tufan, samudri tufan. If it comes, so our life will be saved. By whom? By the sea god. Because he means here sea god. Because he will hold the storm by the hair and throw it away. Throw the storm away. And will hide in his breast our lives. Just like father. Father, the member of our family, is believed to be the strongest member. Okay. Whenever any problem comes, immediately the father comes forward as the strongest member. Okay. In the same way, the fisherman is saying that sea god is also just like our father, and he will hold the storm by the hair and will save our lives in his breast. Clear? Symbolic meaning. Symbolic meaning, the poet is saying to other Indians that don't delay. Okay, just act fast. Act fast in the track of the seagull's call. Seagull's call means wherever other freedom fighters are just involved at that place, she is calling to other Indians to go and just join the movements. There were many movements held during those days, no? So, to join those movements, because sea is our mother. Sea is our motherland. Okay, so she is just giving the different relationship. It may be cloud, may be anything, waves may be anything. Means she is just indicating here, the poet is just indicating here that everyone is our relatives in our India. So we should not be afraid even if the evening comes, means even if we are just not able to win. Okay, we are just captured by the Britishers, then also we should not be afraid, because our sea god, our motherland, will control all the situation by holding the storm, by just holding the Britishers by the hair, and will save our lives. Motherland will save our lives. One more thing, children, I want to tell you here. See here, it is written here that the sea is our mother. Why the sea is mother? The sea is, the poet says that there is no reason to fear. The sea is mother. Here also you write down personification. Okay, you write down the figure of speech, personification, because sea is non-living thing and it has been personified here just like mother. In this both the lines personification has been used. So why the sea is mother? Because it gives them freedom. Okay. Why the cloud is brother? Because cloud helps fishermen by guiding waves. And why the waves are comrades? Because comrades means I have given you the meaning companion, because they also move along with the fishermen. These waves also move along with the fishermen. Your companion, your friend also move along with you wherever you move in the school. You roam about sometimes in the school. You take your tiffin. You go to the you go to drink water. So you want your friend also to be with you. So in the same way, the waves are also roaming about, and that's why they are the comrades. Along with the fishermen, they are also just going with the fishermen. Wherever the fishermen are going, the waves are also moving along with the fishermen, just as their companion. Clear? So this is your third stanza, and I have given you both the meanings of this third stanza. Now see the last one. Sweet is the shade of the coconut glade and the scent of the mango grove. Here, the poet is just telling that everything is sweet. Whatever she is just giving here, the sweet thing or everything is natural thing. Coconut glade. Glade means, glade means the open ground. Okay, the open space in the wood or the forest. As she was the inhabitant of the that uh, bay, okay, Coromandel Bay. So what we get near the bay? Coconut only we get. Okay, so she is saying that after the fisherman is saying here. First, I will give you the literal meaning. The fisherman is saying that after tiring the whole day, when we come in under the shade of the coconut glade, it is very sweet, and the scent of the mango grove is also very sweet just after the whole day when we are tired. And what is more sweet? The sweet are the sands, means at the full o' the moon, means when the moon is full, in the full moonlight, the sands, it just glitters, and that is also sweet with the sound of the voices along with the this glittering sand. The sound, what type of sound? Voices which we love. Who loves the voice? That fisherman. What type of voice they love? It may be the voice of the waves, okay, because at night there is everywhere there is calm, and it may be the voice of any voice may be there. Their relatives voice may also be there. So here the fisherman is saying that after tiring the whole day, when we come to our own place, so these all things seems to us sweet. What things? Coconut glade, sands, mango grove. But what is more sweet? The kiss of the spray and dance of the wild foams. Glee is more sweet. Kiss of the spray means the water splash when it comes on their face, that is more sweet, and dance of the wild foams glee. Wild foam means foam that is formed by the tidal waves when the waves come again and again. So uh, that is hit, okay, and that is tidal waves. Tidal waves means just tufani waves, and that's why that is a foam is created. Foam, jhag. So a foam is created, okay, and which according to the fisherman is more sweet, because it is just that is just a symbol of struggle. These natural things we get very easily, but this kiss of the spray, okay, kiss of the spray, you have understood the water drops that are falling when these fishermen are uh, in the sea. So those water drops are the kiss of the spray. And dance of the wild foams glee, you have understood wild foam. Wild means tidal waves. Okay, so these things are more sweeter because it is just struggling. It is a form of struggle, and that's why it is more sweeter. And last line that the fisherman is saying, just to row, just to go ahead up to the end of the border, where the low sky mates with the sea. Low sky means the fisherman is saying go to the last end of the sea where the sky seems to meet one another. Okay, they are one. When we just stand at the farthest end of the sea, so we just see from the distance, it will look just like the sea is meeting with the sky, and that is called horizon. So here the fisherman is saying that we should go up to the last end. Okay, wherever the horizon is there, we should go up to there, and the fisherman says to row their boats towards the horizon. Now immediately, our time is about to over. Okay, immediately I am just telling you the symbolic meaning also. Here the poet is saying that sweet is the shade of the coconut glade. It means that whenever there were some Indians. Okay, first of all, you should understand that there were two types of Indians during the rule of the Britishers. One type of Indian were those who were very comfortable, those who have no difference. The Britishers were there, then also they were happy. Okay, they were happy in this way. They were slaves, then also they were happy. But another type of Indians were there, those who are not happy, and they believe that whenever they will get independent, okay, they will be independent, they will be free from these Britishers, then only they will become happy. So two types of Indians were there. So the poet is talking about those two types of Indians, and is saying that those who are happy with the temporary joy, temporary happiness. What is temporary happiness? That Britishers are there, then also we are happy. This is temporary happiness. So for them everything will be sweet. But here the poet is saying that sweeter, uh, oh brothers, the poet is saying that sweeter will be that thing when the Britishers will just leave our country, and then only we will just feel relaxed. There were some Indians, I have told you, that those who were not satisfied. Okay, so the poet is saying that this is much sweeter. Sweeter. What is much sweeter? We should not be satisfied with the temporary action, but we should work towards the happiness, we should work towards the joy which can give us personal or permanent satisfaction. Because some people were happy when British ruled over us, and that was temporary action according to the poet. But some Indians, they knew that real joy can be found in living independently. So according to poet, sweeter will be that moment when they will struggle. Kiss of the spray means they will just jump in the field of battle. That will be the sweeter moment. The wild foams glee. Wild foams glee means here that they will struggle. Foam is a symbol of struggle. That moment will be sweeter. And here the poet is telling all the Indians to go up to the last end, and don't just accept the failure, and they should just try to get the independent, to be free. They should just try to be free with those Britishers. Okay, I hope you have understood, children. I have given you all the three stanzas of Coromandel Fishers along with the symbolic meaning. Okay, and I have given you the deeper meaning also. If you have not understood, children, again we can conduct in our Zoom class, but this chapter was given to you in your during the month of April only, just before your summer vacation. Again I have given you the chapter, and it should be clear to you, because I hope that because I just want my students to prepare for the half yearly. This chapter is coming in your half yearly, and that's why I have given you the whole chapter again. We will meet again tomorrow along with the critical appreciation and the question answer of the same chapter. Okay children, goodbye and take care.